Marcus Williams told him, "I'll show you real power." 45 seconds later, every muscle in Gold's gym went silent. Gold's Gym, Venice Beach, California. Saturday afternoon, June 17th, 1989. 2:45 p.m. Marcus the Mountain Williams, 6 feet 5 inches, 320 pounds of chemically enhanced muscle, Mr. Olympia contender, 3 years undefeated in strongman competitions, spots the small guy struggling with what looks like 225 pounds on bench press. In Marcus's world, this is embarrassing. 225 pounds is warm-up weight. Baby weight. The kind of load that serious bodybuilders use for rehabilitation after injuries. And this little guy is grinding out reps like it's a personal record. Marcus approaches with the confidence of someone who's never been physically challenged by anyone under 280 pounds. "Hey, little man, you need help with that baby weight? I'll show you what real strength looks like." That's when the quiet guy sits up from the bench. Marcus had no idea he was talking to Mike Tyson. The legendary Iron Mecca sits just blocks from the Pacific Ocean, where the sound of crashing waves mingles with the clank of heavy plates and the grunts of serious lifters who've made this place their second home. This isn't just any gymnasium. Gold's Gym Venice Beach is the bodybuilding capital of the world, where champions are forged and legends are born. The walls are covered with photographs of Arnold Schwarzenegger, Lou Ferrigno, Franco Columbu, and dozens of other icons who built their physiques within these sacred walls. The afternoon sun streams through dirty windows onto equipment that's seen more iron moved than most gyms see in decades. Mike Tyson sits on the bench press, toweling off sweat from his face. 23 years old, heavyweight champion of the world, but trying to train quietly without attracting the usual crowd of autograph seekers and wannabe sparring partners who make normal workouts impossible. He'd driven down from his Malibu mansion specifically to avoid the celebrity gym scene, hoping Gold's Venice would provide sanctuary where serious athletes could train without interruption. The plan was working until Marcus Williams decided to provide unsolicited instruction about strength training. Mike's workout routine focuses on functional power rather than aesthetic muscle development. His trainer designed the program around explosive movements, core stability, and the kind of strength that translates directly into boxing performance rather than posing competitions. The 225 pounds on the bench press represents controlled training load, not maximum effort. Mike could bench considerably more, but his program prioritizes speed, endurance, and injury prevention over ego lifting that impresses gym spectators but compromises athletic performance. Marcus Williams represents everything that 1980s bodybuilding culture celebrates. Massive size achieved through pharmaceutical enhancement, training volume that prioritizes muscle growth over functional capability, and social dynamics where physical intimidation determines gym hierarchy. Standing 6 feet 5 inches and weighing 320 pounds, Marcus possesses the kind of size that makes normal humans look like children. His shoulders span doorways. His arms measure 22 inches around. His chest could serve as anatomical reference for bodybuilding textbooks. His legs support mass that seems to defy structural engineering. But Marcus's size isn't natural. 15 years of competitive bodybuilding combined with pharmaceutical protocols that would hospitalize average people have created physique that exists primarily for visual impact rather than practical application. His training focuses on isolation exercises designed to maximize muscle fiber recruitment for hypertrophy rather than compound movements that develop functional strength for real-world activities. His diet consists of precise macronutrient calculations optimized for muscle growth rather than athletic performance. Marcus's reputation at Gold's Gym extends beyond impressive physique into social dominance through size intimidation. New members defer to his equipment choices. Smaller lifters clear space when he approaches stations. Even experienced bodybuilders acknowledge his superior mass through respectful distance. For 3 years, Marcus has been preparing for Mr. Olympia competition, the pinnacle of professional bodybuilding. His size and conditioning suggest legitimate potential for championship success. His confidence reflects genuine belief that he represents the ultimate expression of human physical development. But Marcus's understanding of strength remains limited to gymnasium demonstrations that prioritize visual impact over practical application. He equates size with power, muscle mass with capability, bodybuilding achievement with comprehensive physical dominance. The afternoon training session at Gold's includes approximately 40 serious lifters, professional bodybuilders preparing for upcoming competitions, Hollywood actors maintaining physiques for action roles, elite athletes from various sports using the facility's superior equipment and atmosphere. Everyone present understands gym etiquette that governs equipment sharing, respectful observation of training sessions, and social hierarchy based on demonstrated capability rather than verbal claims. Marcus's approach to the quiet bench presser violates established protocols through unsolicited instruction and implied criticism. Several lifters notice Marcus's movement toward Mike's bench area, recognizing potential confrontation that could provide entertainment or education depending on how the interaction develops. Gold's Venice has witnessed numerous ego clashes over the years, usually resolved through physical demonstrations that settle disputes definitively. Seriously, little man, Marcus continues, positioning himself where his massive frame can emphasize size difference between himself and the seated figure. 225 pounds shouldn't be giving you that much trouble. You need to eat more protein, lift heavier weights, maybe consider pharmaceutical assistance. Mike looks up from his towel, meets Marcus's eyes with calm assessment that doesn't match the intimidation response Marcus expects from smaller individuals. Just finishing my set. Thanks for the advice. Marcus's expression reveals surprise at Mike's controlled response rather than deferential acceptance of his superior knowledge and physical presence. Finishing your set? That looked like maximum effort. You were grinding those reps like it was personal record territory. Mike stands from the bench, his movement controlled but carrying authority that immediately transforms gym atmosphere from routine training into focused attention. The size difference becomes apparent. Marcus towers over Mike by 7 inches, outweighs him by nearly 170 pounds. But something in Mike's presence creates psychological shift that 40 experienced lifters recognize immediately. This isn't intimidation meeting submission. This is 2 different types of strength about to interface in ways that will educate everyone present about the difference between appearance and capability. It's training weight, Mike explains simply. Controlled load for specific adaptations, not maximum demonstration. Marcus's grin reveals confidence built through years of gym dominance, assumption that smaller individuals necessarily possess inferior strength and limited understanding of serious training principles. Training weight? Brother, if you're training with 225, your max is probably 275, maybe 300 if you're really pushing. Want me to show you what real pressing looks like? What serious strength actually means? Marcus approaches the bench with ceremonial confidence, begins loading plates that transform the bar into something resembling powerlifting competition setup. 405 pounds. Real weight. Serious iron. The kind of load that separates genuine strength from recreational lifting. "This is working weight," Marcus announces to the gathering crowd of 40 lifters who've paused their own training to observe demonstration. This is what happens when you dedicate your life to building real power instead of playing around with baby weight. Marcus lies beneath the loaded bar, positions himself with textbook form refined through thousands of repetitions. His massive chest rises and falls with controlled breathing. His shoulders settle into stable position. His hands grip the bar with spacing that maximizes mechanical advantage. The lift begins with controlled descent that demonstrates complete mastery of the enormous load. 405 pounds touches Marcus's chest with precision that reveals years of technical development. The ascent explodes upward with power that makes the massive weight appear manageable. The 40 witnesses murmur with genuine appreciation. Regardless of Marcus's personality flaws, his demonstration represents legitimate strength that commands respect from anyone who understands serious lifting. 405 pounds pressed with that level of control indicates capabilities that separate elite lifters from recreational enthusiasts. Marcus completes 5 repetitions with authority that proves the weight represents training load rather than maximum effort. He could clearly handle more. His breathing remains controlled. His technique stays precise. His confidence grows with each successful rep. "That's how you move real weight," Marcus announces as he racks the bar. "That's what 15 years of dedicated training produces. Size, strength, and the knowledge to use both effectively." Mike nods respectfully. "Impressive pressing. You've clearly developed significant strength through consistent training and pharmaceutical enhancement." Marcus's expression shifts slightly at Mike's matter-of-fact mention of pharmaceutical protocols that bodybuilders rarely acknowledge publicly. But he maintains confident posture while processing Mike's unexpected familiarity with training methodology. "Pharmaceutical enhancement is part of competitive bodybuilding," Marcus admits. "Natural limitations require chemical transcendence if you want to compete at elite levels. Size and strength don't develop accidentally." Mike approaches the bench, begins removing plates that Marcus added for his demonstration. Different goals require different approaches. Bodybuilding emphasizes size and symmetry. Boxing requires functional power and endurance. Neither approach is superior, just optimized for different applications. Marcus watches Mike reduce the bar to 315 pounds, significantly less than Marcus's demonstration weight, but still respectable load that indicates serious strength rather than recreational training. 315 is decent weight, Marcus admits grudgingly. But if that's your working load, you're probably not going to impress anyone in a place like Gold's. This gym has standards. Mike lies beneath the bar without elaborate setup or ceremonial preparation. No crowd announcements, no technique demonstrations, just positioning himself for controlled execution with weight that represents his actual training parameters. The first repetition moves with speed that catches several observers off guard. 315 pounds ascends from Mike's chest with explosive velocity that suggests significantly greater strength potential than the load indicates. The bar accelerates throughout the movement rather than slowing under resistance. The second rep matches the first. Clean, fast, controlled. The third rep increases in speed. The fourth rep appears effortless. By the fifth rep, everyone present understands they're witnessing strength expression that transcends typical gym demonstrations into something approaching athletic performance. Marcus's confident expression begins shifting as he processes Mike's movement quality and the obvious strength reserve that his demonstration reveals. The speed and control suggest capabilities that significantly exceed the training weight being utilized. "That's decent speed," Marcus admits. "But speed doesn't matter if you can't handle serious weight. Size moves mountains. Speed might win points in competition, but mass dominates real-world applications." Mike completes 10 repetitions with consistent speed and control that proves 315 pounds represents moderate training load rather than challenging effort. He racks the bar, stands from the bench, approaches Marcus with calm confidence that 40 witnesses recognize as shift in psychological dynamics. "You're right that size can move mountains," Mike agrees. "But in my experience, functional strength matters more than display strength. Capability matters more than appearance." Mike extends his right hand toward Marcus in gesture that appears respectful but carries implications beyond casual gym courtesy. "Want to test functional strength versus display strength? No equipment, no weights, just practical application of power we've both developed through training." Marcus hesitates, recognizing that Mike's challenge transcends gym demonstrations into territory that his bodybuilding background never prepared him to navigate effectively. But refusing would confirm weakness in front of 40 serious lifters, whose respect determines Gold's Venice social hierarchy. "What kind of test?" Marcus asks, maintaining confident posture while processing challenge that doesn't fit established patterns of gym confrontation through weightlifting demonstrations. "Simple strength application," Mike responds. "Grip strength, leverage understanding, practical power that translates into real-world capability rather than competition posing." Marcus extends his massive hand, confident that his size and pharmaceutical enhancement provide decisive advantage in any direct strength comparison. His hand engulfs Mike's completely, creating visual demonstration of size difference that should determine outcome predictably. Mike's grip activates immediately, not gradually but comprehensively, engaging leverage points and pressure applications that Marcus's bodybuilding training never encountered or prepared him to understand or resist effectively. Within 15 seconds, Marcus's confident expression transforms into confusion, then discomfort, then genuine concern as he recognizes complete inability to match or counter Mike's grip applications despite overwhelming size advantage. "Jesus Christ," Marcus whispers, his voice barely audible to nearby witnesses. "What kind of strength training develops grip like that?" Mike maintains controlled pressure without increasing force, demonstrating capability rather than causing damage. 20 years of functional training. Boxing develops grip strength, wrist stability, leverage understanding that transfers into practical power applications. Marcus attempts to increase his own pressure, utilizing pharmaceutical-enhanced muscle mass that should provide decisive advantage in direct strength comparison. But his bodybuilding-developed strength operates through different mechanical principles than Mike's functional capabilities. "I can't..." "How are you doing this?" Marcus asks, his massive frame beginning to respond involuntarily to pressure applications that his nervous system can't process or counter through conventional strength training adaptations. Mike releases Marcus's hand immediately, stepping back to respectful distance. His demonstration complete through controlled education rather than destructive dominance that would violate gym etiquette and create ongoing problems. Different training creates different capabilities, Mike explains simply. Bodybuilding develops size and symmetry. boxing develops functional power and practical application. Both approaches have value within appropriate contexts. Marcus massages feeling back into his hand, processing educational experience that challenges every assumption he's maintained about strength, size, and physical dominance throughout 15 years of competitive bodybuilding. The 40 witnesses gradually return to their training routines, but everyone present understands they've observed demonstration that transcends typical gym interactions into education about authentic versus display capabilities. Within hours, Marcus's encounter spreads throughout Venice Beach fitness community, generating discussion about different types of strength training and their practical applications beyond competitive bodybuilding or aesthetic achievement. Marcus Williams continues his Mr. Olympia preparation, but incorporates functional training elements into his routine, recognizing that size alone doesn't guarantee comprehensive physical development or practical strength application. Mike Tyson taught me something important about strength, Marcus tells training partners privately. Size isn't everything. Display strength isn't the same as functional capability. There are levels of power development that bodybuilding doesn't address. The Gold's Gym encounter becomes Venice Beach legend, repeated whenever gym discussions turn to different training methodologies and their relative effectiveness for various applications beyond competitive posing or aesthetic achievement. Mike continues using Gold's Venice for quiet training sessions, earning respect from serious lifters through consistent demonstration of functional capabilities rather than ego lifting or social intimidation tactics. Years later, Mike credits the Marcus Williams encounter as educational experience about mutual respect between different training approaches, understanding that every discipline develops specific capabilities that deserve recognition within appropriate contexts. Marcus was legitimately strong and dedicated to his training, Mike tells interviewers. But he learned that functional strength operates through different principles than display strength, and that practical power can't always be measured by weights lifted or muscle size developed. The lesson transcends gymnasium interactions. It's about understanding that different training methodologies develop different capabilities. That size doesn't automatically translate into practical strength, and that respect should be based on demonstrated capability rather than assumed superiority through physical appearance. 40 serious lifters learned that lesson, watching Mike transform Marcus's strength demonstration into education about functional versus display capabilities, proving that authentic power often operates through principles that conventional training doesn't address or develop comprehensively. Gold's Gym Venice Beach still hosts bodybuilding legends and functional athletes, but veterans will tell newcomers about the day Marcus Williams challenged Mike Tyson to demonstrate real power, discovering that some forms of strength can't be measured by plate counts or muscle size when practical application becomes the testing standard. The 45 seconds that taught everyone present about different types of strength development, different applications of training methodology, and most importantly, different approaches to respect that transcend physical appearance into appreciation for capabilities that serve different purposes within their appropriate contexts.